it's me once again, Sakura playing Katawa Shoujo. I know I took a little break, but I am back, and I promise I'll be better than ever. Anyway, last time on Katawa Shoujo, we saw... gosh, I don't really remember what happened. It was a while ago. But, we hung out with Lily and Hanako. Kenji said some stuff. And Lily touched our face. It was, very spicy. Very, very spicy. So let's go ahead and load our save. We're on £1 sterling. What does that mean? Okay. Okay, let's get started. Piling my books into my bag, I catch a glimpse of the library books I borrowed the last week. I might as well return them considering they took all of 2 days to finish. I briefly considered inviting Hanako along to the library, but she's already gone. It's probably be better for my studying if I am alone anyway. With a quick stretch and a wave of a couple of my classmates who give the same to me, I make my way out of the classroom. As I open my bag and shove the books through the return slot in the first counter, I notice a strange person behind the desk. Old and graying, she must be Yoko's replacement when she was working at the cafe. I begin looking for a free table, a task made somewhat difficult considering that despite there not being many students in here, they're all sitting at their own tables. Noticing a familiar head of hair, I walk over to one of the braille sections. It's hard to tell whether Lily concentrating hard or not, her placid expression holding perfectly still as her fingers slide across the filled pages of her book. Hi, mind if I sit here? Oh, no problem at all. She trails off, evidently still focused on her business at hand. Hisao. She gives a nod of a greeting as I sit opposite her at the table, pluck a chemistry textbook out of my bag, and quickly thumb to the chapter we've covered in class. For a while, we sit there and read, each in our own way. Seeing her reminds me of what Kenji said this morning, though, that the fact that I've never seen someone read in Braille before makes me keep throwing glances at her. Okay, oh yeah, I remember. Kenji said, what did he say? He said some weird shit. He said, oh, this broad, she's a bad girl. Don't go near her. Yep, that's exactly what he said. I kind of feel guilty about it, given that she has no way to realize I'm doing so. So I decide to just ask her about it. Her lineage isn't exactly a state secret, after all, and there is another thing I've only just noticed from her movement. Hey Lily, mind if I ask you a question? No, not at all. Is anything wrong? I was just wondering, you're at least part foreigner, right? She gives a small giggle before setting down her book. I've always been amused at how squeamish people are about that. Akira mentioned how much she and I look different from most others before. The details are a bit complicated, but I'm half Japanese, half Scottish. Scottish? That's not exactly my first guess. It takes some effort to not blurt it out. I try to conjure images of places in mind, thinking of as far as the UK goes, Scotland isn't bad to live in, but I'm not really sure. My first guess of England was surprisingly close, at least geographically. That does leave another question though. But you have no accent? That's where the details begin. I was born and raised in Japan, despite my mother being foreign. Ah, I get it. Hold on, if she moved to the dorms simply due to Akira's working longer hours, so they don't live near the school? She gives a small sigh, as if she didn't expect me to go any deeper. What, was her previous frankness just a front? Not exactly. It's been a long time since we've actually met. I feel like I'm not getting the whole story, but I really kind of want to go unduly prying into her situation. Her about face shows feels kind of awkward about it. So, do you speak much English? To be honest, I don't know that much about Scotland, but at least I know that the main language is there. It takes time. It takes her a moment to collect herself, appreciating the change in topic. That's right. My family mostly uses Japanese around the house when I was young, but that made sure Akira and I knew our Scottish side just as well. I'm fluent in the language, but I'm also studying it in school. Try to keep my skills up and have the qualifications on my paper mainly. So you're bilingual. That's pretty impressive. I wouldn't go that far. Having parents who can speak the language is a large advantage. English books in Braille aren't too hard to buy or import, with Yuko's help at least. There are relatively high demands for local English teachers here anyway, which also helps give me some motivation to learn it as well. Demands for English teachers. For a moment I wonder why she brought this up. You're planning to be an English teacher? She gives me an enthusiastic nod. It must be nice, having such a defined future in mind. I've never really given much thought to mine, so I'm kind of envious. What's wrong? It's just I couldn't see you as an English. I could see you as an English. I could see you as a teacher pretty much easily. It suits you. For a moment, she's speechless. She lowers her face a little and lets out a nervous giggle, something I've never seen her do before. With Lily's role as a class representative and her dependable nature, teaching does seem to be a line of work fitting for her personality. Sorry, that was probably a little much. It's true, though. Waving her hand in front of her face, dismissively, she quickly recovers. It's not that. It's just that only one person ever said that to me before. A short, somewhat awkward silence follows the discussion. Without knowing it, I end up steering into some troublesome topics again. I should try to cheer her up a little. It's me who went and got her. Oh my god. It's me who went and got her brooding after all. Want to grab lunch at the cafeteria after this? I might perk her up a bit, or at least take her mind off the apparently complicated family situation. Going by her smile, it seems like I have the intended effort. I appreciate the thought, but the food there. Quite a quick redirection of the conversation. She does have a point, though. The food there isn't the greatest. Maybe the Shanghai? We could ask Hanako if she wants to come as well. Ah! What is it? I almost forgot. You reminded me. Hanako's birthday is coming up soon, and I'm going to go shopping in the city for a present tomorrow. Is that an invitation? I'd be happy to accompany you. The ability to get more used to the layout of the city would probably be a good thing. I had barely set foot in there, so I'd be hopelessly lost by myself. She gives a nod, signaling that she's happily approves of the plan for Sunday. We eventually get back to our books, though before I begin reading again, I steal one last glance at her. Maybe I've been thinking on my situation too much. After all, everybody here would have their own unique circumstance. The chance to get outside and clear my head will probably do me good. Am I too small? I think I'm too small here. Oh well. It's fine. Oh, did my lips stop moving? Nope. Okay, I'm good. No, I'm gonna make myself a little bigger. Yeah, perfect. Bored of standing in place and watching the television in the shop window, I pull myself away from the tacky displays with little effort. Oh, we're already in the city. Okay. After living at Yamaku, the city seems like an entirely different world. No running in the halls. calm and overly conduct to be used to all the time in the classroom. Students are to exit rooms after checking both directions for oncomers. Elevators are reserved for movement-impaired students. Single files on stairs. Compared to such strict, almost regiment standards, the city shopping arcade might as well be a strange country. While the school may have its fair share of the hustle and bustle during the festival, the outside world is much different. It's strange, having lived in a metropolitan city before my accident. This should feel more natural than Yamaku and the surrounding towns ever could. Yep, it feels foreign, somehow. The elevated walkways, all the tall buildings, each adorned with billboards tattered, and any 3 people don't do anything to distract me from the passing crowd's reactions. Okay. Oh, she's so cute! I've never seen her in this outfit. Like, I've seen pictures of it, but I haven't seen, like, the actual her sprite. Oh, she's so cute! So, I'm gonna go on a little tangent. In Japan, I went to Japan before, as a disabled person. It was very hard to move around Japan. Like, there is some, but hardly any disabled access stuff. So, like, stairs, I would have to go on. Escalators, I have to go on. There was hardly any ramps. Like, their disability infrastructure wasn't the best. And I can only assume it's worse in places that don't get a lot of foreigners. So, like, Tokyo, probably the best. I'm trying to think of, like, a smaller town we went to. There's, like, I remember going to not the Bandai Museum, where was it? The Ghibli Museum somewhere. It was closed that day. I'm sorry if I'm going on a tangent, but, like, it was closed. That whole city had nothing for disabled people. Ramps? No. Stairs? Yes. But I can't really use stairs, but I had to. It was back, luckily, when I went to Japan, it was back when I had better stamina. Now, if I go to Japan, I'm probably screwed. So, that's a little tangent. That's a little snippet of, like, what it's like to be in Japan and be disabled. Anyway, Lily keeps one hand on my shoulder, the other holding her cane, which taps the ground, like a metronome-like steadiness. Looking over to her, the natural smile of hers still holds. Having only seen her in a school uniform, I have not recognized her as she sat on a bench waiting for me to come. If not for her cane propped up against it, and her distinctive hair, I can't tell whether they're glaring at her due to her height, her foreign looks, her obvious blindness, or all 3. Not that any of those would make the situation any less uncomfortable than it is. Do you have any idea where to look first, Tasao? Her soft voice breaks me out of line of thought. I can't imagine that she's failing to notice the attention she ganders, but she seems unfazed by it. I get the feeling that she's the type to enjoy walking outside, so she might be used to it by now. No, really, this is my first time in the city, so I've got no idea where to go. She furrows her brow in thought, planning a routine for us to take, and comes to think of it, a way to communicate it. Something I noticed in the time I've been with her is how, when deep in thought, she lacks clothes to any form of body language to show it. Her expression may change, but not a hint of movement shows. She seems to have little in the way of sweeping physical gestures, in general though, so I assume it's part of her reserved nature. Is there a large electronics store near here? I take a quick look around, mostly finding clothing stores. After a few seconds, I notice a store with bright blue sign some distance away that fits her description. Yep, it's just ahead of us. Should we get in that direction? Thankfully, it's just the information she needed. With a nod, we start heading off towards Lily's unknown destination. Landmarks being our guide. Oh, what ice cream! Ice cream! I love ice cream. Ooh, I like strawberry or cheesecake or strawberry cheesecake. Sorry, I keep going on tangents. Here you go. 1 vanilla, 1 chocolate. I hand the money over the counter and take the cones to the railing that Lily's sitting on. I can't believe I let her trick me like this. She not only led me to an ice cream stall, but she also got me to buy her some. At least she gave me the money for hers. Oh, then you didn't buy it. Shut up, Hisao. I would buy it for her. I'd buy her ice cream. Shush. Who doesn't want a beautiful bombshell to have ice cream? Sure enough, she patiently waits where I left her. I guess she was planning on making the day an event, rather than a single shopping trip. I call out to her, and she slowly places the vanilla cone in her outstretched hands, being careful to make sure she has a good hold of it before letting go. At least her tastes are fairly normal. I was worried she'd ask for some weird flavor when she first asked. Here's the change. It's okay. Keep it. Oh, my voice changed for that one. I moved to protest, but realized the futility of doing so over such a small amount. I slipped the coins in my pocket, supplementing my meager allowance ever so slightly. Lily shows no sign of wanting to get up, so I take a seat beside her and start eating my own ice cream. The summer's weather's nice. Hopefully it holds out for a while. You too? I'm beginning to think I'm the only person who prefers winter. I contemplate her statement for a long moment. Yeah, I think you might be. Rude. It draws the intended reaction. She's cute when she's pouting. Still, I can't imagine what's so good about winter. You can't go out without bundling up, and you still freeze anyway. I used to live further north, where there was plenty of snow to play in, so it's a little nostalgic. I don't like the heat very much either. At least you can wear a skirt, so don't complain about that. Oh my god, Sal, this is a horrible first date. If someone said that to me, I'd be like, well, fuck you too. Oh, I said a bad word. Oop. It's fine. She gives an amusing giggle as we both get back to finishing our already melting cones. I idly sit and watch the crowd go by as we eat, catching bits and pieces of the conversation. Looking to Lily, I see her dutifully lick her ice cream from the top downwards, blissfully unaware of the fact that it's beginning to melt. It's melting. Where? Down a bit. She lowers her mouth from atop the cone and has no idea exactly where the ice cream is dripping. What follows is a game of her guiding left and right until she finally reaches it. To an onlooker, it must seem absolutely bizarre. A girl with her eyes closed, turning her cone over and over as the guy next to her gives her instructions. A strange variant of childhood blindfolded games, maybe. In good time, we finally finish our treats, while away the time conversating casually. Caught mid-sentence, Lily perks her head in her trademark manner. It's an unmistakable sign that something's caught her off guard. Ah! What is it? Is Akira somewhere over there? I can hear her. I raise an eyebrow and look at the direction she's facing, somewhat doubtful of her ability to pick out Akira's lone voice in the din. Sure enough, there's a blonde girl in a suit, can be seen through the tiny gaps between people walking every which way. I raise a hand over and wave, trying to catch her attention. Sato! Hey, Sato! She stops in her tracks and looks towards me, evidently noticing my calls. As she does, I notice someone walking beside her. I can't get a good look at whoever it is, though, before the two begin walking towards where we are. I don't remember what Kira's voice was. Anyway, I do have to stop it here. Okay, guys. unfortunately, I have to stop here. Let me save real quick. Save. So thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day. And remember, if you liked the video, please like, comment, and subscribe. And remember, Bakas, stay stinky.